How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a list of my top 10 favorite maps for Farm Simulator 22 for all platforms. And first we are going to start with our honorable mentions, starting off with The Valley, the Old Farm by Black Sheep Modding, Galgenberg by Yorgi, Between the Mounts by FSPT, and Riverview Farm by Cavalier Roy. Number 10. Lapacho Farm. Number 10 on this list is Lapacho Farm, and some of the pros that go along with this map. It is, I think, one of the most interesting farmyards you start out with any game mode on this entire series. So you are seeing right here the driveway just leading into Lapacho Farms. It is this stunning rock wall faced on either side, surrounded by trees. Just this view alone is gorgeous. But then you turn around, you've got this cobblestone driveway, kind of a roundabout area here leading up to the farmhouse. It's just amazing, just stunning. You've got the backdrop of the mountains over there. You've got a plane in your own yard. Like, come on, come on. This is ridiculously stunning. This map was created by Zero Oito, and yeah, this is, I think, one of the most interesting farmyards. You got this, what looks to be almost like a koi pond right here in the yard itself, and then just continuing through the yard itself, you got a lot of your equipment kind of stored away in these kind of outpost buildings out in this most outer periphery of the farm itself. It is just stunning. Amazing driveway, amazing detail in the yard, and just details in general. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pan out and show you around this map and just show you just kind of the stunning views that you can see. So starting with details, you see here just at the gas station alone, you've got a nice Deutz-Fahr harvester just parked here in the gas station parking lot. You've got traffic that actually goes through the parking lot itself. If we continue on over here, we have the animal dealer with this kind of straw stack right over here, and you can see, if we pan in there, if I can get in there, you've got even these little pitchforks. It's just small details like this that I think are just part and parcel to every Zero Ito map that is out there. Just the amount of details, just those little things that really makes just makes the map. You've got this kind of little quarry over here, a bunch of stone and debris crusher in here, a bunch of tractors in there just doing their job, and it makes a map, like, even though they're stationary figures, it just makes it come alive. And if we just continue on going, you've got a big selling station over here, big kind of industrial park. But then we get closer into town, and this is where details really come into focus. So looking here, look at this little trash area right here. It's like this little kind of trash outcrow for the town. You've got this little construction area back here that, honestly, unless you're in this kind of hover over mode, you would never know this was here. You'd probably drive by this a million times, not even realize that any of this stuff was here. You would see this trash right here, but you wouldn't see all this detail, this cement mixer. Like, there's a construction going on here. It's, again, just small little things like that, where if you take the time to explore, you're going to see something new every time you come on this map, and it's just a stunning map. And then you come over here, you got this little, almost looks like a fort built onto the mountainside here. Just fantastic. Some cons associated with this map, in my opinion. Slot counts. So for us console players, you're starting out with 1,761 slots right off the bat, and that's quite a bit. Now, for the latest generation consoles, you have 4,400 slots, so less than half is taken up already by the amount of slots that are already being utilized on this just from the start. But for previous gen consoles, that's quite a big difference. I think it's half of that. I think it's 2200. So yeah, previous gen consoles are gonna have a little rough time playing on this one because they're not gonna be able to expand out that much. Another con that's associated to this map, in my opinion, cannot buy all the land. That's a big one to me. So there are areas around the map. If you wanted to purchase them, you just can't do it, and it's sad. You know, you've got like this stunning kind of shop area right here that it's just built out so nicely, and there's so many details like inside. And if you want to add something to this little yard here, you even got this loading dock right over here. That's really cool. But if you want to add like a filling trigger or something like that to be able to, you know, extend the usefulness of this, you can't do it. You can, at least you can't do it here. And then the last con for this map, file size. It is a very large file to download. It's over 400 megabytes to download. So that, but with that con also comes a pro, and you get all these details. Without the large file size, you're not going to get as many details. And yeah, all in all, it is just a very stunning map, and that is why it is coming in at number 10 of my favorites. Number 9. The Old Stream Farm by Black Sheep Modding. So this is the Old Stream Farm by Black Sheep Modding, and as you can see, it's one of the most evident pros to this map right off the jump is your starting farm. And you can see just a stunning farmhouse, farm buildings here, very unique as this kind of old stone, you know, masonry work just is throughout the entirety of the farm. And you can see how you have these pretty much every one of your major starting animals, with the exception of horses, are right here at your starting farm. You've got chickens, cows, sheep, and pigs all at the start. You don't have the animals, you have the barns and buildings. But it's just such a unique setup here. You have the ability to destroy everything here if you don't like it, and you can start from new if that's your choice. But you also have the ability to expand your farm. You've got this little building placeable area right here that works perfectly for you to be able to expand and do stuff with the farm itself. You get a fair bit of option with this. You get lots of storage right here at your starting farm. Very, very nice. You have beautiful terrain at this map as well, so you can see just how much sweep and undulations there are on this map. And for it being a smaller map, you actually surprisingly get a fair bit of sweep and elevation for this map. You get a natural river that runs through the map that kind of breaks up the kind of scenery of the map itself, and just the road network itself is laid out in such a way to where, you know, you kind of get very, very tight here towards town where things are, but once you get outside of town right about here, it really starts to open up, and you can see the more fields and stuff that are available to you out on the countryside here. It's just a very nice map overall. A couple of the cons that this map has to it, in my opinion, are you do have a slight bit of unforgiveness when it comes to working on the fields and in certain areas. So what I mean by that is the borders of a lot of the fields and stuff can have either fences or other fields or just something that is surrounding them, because it's such a small map. Like this is a perfect example here. You've got this grass field right here, and if you're not paying attention, or if you're just, you know, get distracted ever so slightly, bloop, you're going in the water. So it's one of those maps that you've really got to pay attention to what you're doing. You can't play it when you're distracted. You can't be on it when you're tired or whatever, because you're gonna mess up, and you're gonna, you know, gonna have to reset your vehicles, lose a load, whatever the case may be. I can't tell you the number of times I've been on this map and I'm driving around, and I either get distracted or look away, and all of a sudden I'm in a river, I'm in a creek, I'm hanging over a fence. Like, bloopers are aplenty for those who don't pay attention to what they're doing. So yeah, that's probably one of the larger quote unquote cons. But other than that, it's the other con I would have to say is a part of this map is just the very tight driving in certain areas. Out in the countryside, you're fine. But you get into town here, and you've got these single lane roads with traffic that goes on them, as you can see there. You've got very tight laneways here for certain sell points. So it's one of those that if you're not good at driving in enclosed areas, this might not be a map for you. But I absolutely adore this map. It is such a great map. It's got just awesome appeal to it. And with it being as small as it is, it's actually kind of deceptively, it feels deceptively large from time to time, because just how the road networks are laid out, and it kind of forces you into certain directions and doesn't allow you to go directly from point A to point B. If you're going right to point A to point B, then you get there in a heartbeat. But because you kind of have to go in certain directions, go around certain ways and whatnot, then you're not always going to be able to get to where you need to get to right away. But that's why this is number 9 on the list. Number 8. Maypole Farm by Cavalier Roy. And this is Maypole Farm. As you can see, it is a very, very stunning map. Absolutely adore this map. This is the starting farm, and as you can see, it's pretty busy, very tight. So it's one of those things that you're gonna have to kind of, be pretty decent at driving around with crowded areas. But one of the reasons why I absolutely adore this map, I love this map. It is by far one of the, if not the most customizable maps on Farming Simulator 22. This map is fantastic. If you don't like things a certain way, you can just go out of your way and do whatever it is that you want, pretty much. Now, what do I mean by this? This map is littered with these lights right here. You can see these kind of spotlights that are all over the map. You got one there, got another one over here. So what you can do is, if you have a chainsaw, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and purchase one. Check this out. Purchase a chainsaw, doesn't matter which. Come over here. See that? You get the green ring. Cut it down. Pow! Look at that. All the stone that was right here in this area is now gone. Same thing over here. Any one of these will cut down and alter things all throughout the map. Look at that. And now you have a nice open pasture for your sheep. Another awesome feature about this map are the capacities for your animals. Check it out. 500 sheep can go into this pasture. So each one of these pastures and pens are custom. They have custom volumes, and I think they get up to some of them get up to 1,000 animals per pen. It's ridiculous. But what's even better, is that all of them are kind of customized. They might have this kind of stock barn or building that's associated to them, but they all have these kind of customized pastures that are the extension of the barn. So it's not just the little square plunk kind of animal barn or building kind of thing, or the square pasture that's right attached to them. It's its own entity, and it has their own nav mesh for all the animals, so they can wander around in various different areas and do their own thing. So it's not just animals that are just hanging around in a little square. You'll get them all throughout this. So this is your cow field right here, and they are all over the place when you first put cows in. It's incredible. And what's even better is you can leave these up, the stone and fencing up all you want. You don't have to take them down if you don't want to, but you can come out here and mow the grass, and you can actually utilize this. And this is an actual grass field. This isn't just grass texture, so you can actually maintain this area as if you want to. So you can build this up and make it your own kind of thing. Not build it up, but you can actually build it up and get it up to a higher yield percentage. And it's like that on all the farms. And now what I really, really like about this map is if we go to the map itself, over here is one of the not starting farms, but one of the farms. 184 here is the actual farmhouse itself. This is part of the farm yard right here, this 123. But you can kind of expand the farm as you have money. So you can buy the main farmyard kind of thing. 152, that's the chickens right there. So then it will give you access to chickens. 151, that's where the pigs are. So you can buy the pigs later. You don't have to do it all at once. If you don't have, 30 plus 2,000 plus 46. So if you don't have all that money right up front, you can slowly buy an area and expand and expand. 150 is the cows right here, so another 50 grand right there. You got, I believe this one's sheep right here. So you can keep expanding and building and growing as you see fit. So you don't have to just be stuck with the one area and have to spend $2-3 million or 200,000, however much this adds up to total, for the whole farm. You can just gradually go, and they're all like this. You got another farm that's right here, and again, you got the main farm right here. You got the pigs right here. I believe this. No, is this the sheep? I think this is the sheep up here. I think cows are down here. So it's just, you can start small and work your way up, and it's just fantastic. It's an amazing way to kind of start out and grow and do your own thing. And the only kind of negatives I can think of for this map in particular, driving is very narrow. As you can see here, you're only going to get a vehicle of small proportions through here. If you're not that great of a driver, this might not be the map for you. If you have a hard time going down laneways and stuff like that, it's going to be tough. But I mean, me personally, I like that because it poses an additional challenge. You have to figure out, how are you going to navigate these kind of, small areas. Now let's take a look up high and kind of, take a look at things from a bird's eye view. Some other negatives that I can think of are just the sheer amount of road networks that you have. Like you only have like one real main road network. Then you do get some paths and stuff to go, but like this little field back here is kind of closed off to everything around it with the exception of this driveway. So you kind of have to look really hard to where you can enter some of these fields. They're not always the clearest, and unfortunately, because of the map, if you look here, it's not always very clearly seen as to where some of the roads leading into some of the fields can be found. So it's a small little thing, but it is present. Now you can see here you got another kind of driveway kind of thing. This leads to another farm back here. You've got some more road network going back to these fields that are tucked away way back here. So it's just overall it's just a very, very nice map. I really, really do like it. And the customization, the ability to just kind of really make this map your own. You got a little bit of town right here. Yeah, it's just an amazing, amazing map. Really, really enjoy it. And that is why this one is number 8 on the list. Number 7. Adelshoven by MN99, MN97, Martin N. And this is Adelshoven. This is the starting farm. It is a very basic, simple starting farm. Not a whole lot going on here, but it's almost deceptively simple. So you can see you got plenty of storage here at the starting farm with this large cavernous building here. You got a starting silo. You got another storage building right here. But what's kind of deceptive about it is you've got several plots of land that is yours, several fields to work with, A lot of them already have stuff that you can already harvest and get to kind of working on. But you got a couple of greenhouses on this side over here. But one of the probably the most standout feature that I've noticed on this map to me is this map was one of the first I came across that basically had all of the crop types available on the map to start. Now, with the exception of sugarcane, it basically has everything on it. So, if I go to the kind of overall view, the terrain on this map. So, one of the pros, terrain, very, very nice. Second one, the built-in already there crop types. So you have grapes as a built-in crop type, and they're in several different locations on this map. You have up here, further up the hill, continuing up, you've got olives up on top of the hill, and they are massive hills. Like, the terrain on this is very unforgiving. If you are not paying attention to the equipment that you're buying that doesn't have enough horsepower, you're going to get stuck on the side of the hill somewhere. And these hills, like I said, they are huge. Look at that. That is a pretty good size hill. If you don't have enough horsepower with your harvester, you're not getting up it, and you're only getting down it. So it is incredible. Now, another fill type we're going to have to sweep all the way over. So outside of just the stunning sweeping lands that this map has associated to it, here's the starting farm again, up high. Down here you have this kind of valley and like ridge line right over here. These bridges that are built in here are really kind of stunning, if you ask me. A couple of little creeks that go through the map. You gotta drive through them. But over here, you can see, look at this. Poplars. This is one of the first maps that I can recall ever being on that had poplars actually built into the map. And again, look at that kind of sweep and undulation to the terrain. It's just incredible. It's stunning. And you do have a lot of starting equipment that will allow you to handle the poplars and stuff like that. You've got pretty much all the built-in base game factories. So pros are stunning landscape, simple starting farm, a lot of starting equipment, and the you know what? Stunning landscape is going to go on there twice, just because, in my opinion, this is probably one of the top tier maps when it comes to the way that the land is sculpted. Some of the cons that are associated to this map, in my opinion, with the beautiful terrain and landscape that is available on this map, I wish that the base game models were not used when it came to production sites. So you can see here you got your dairy, and it's one of the base game models. You've got the bakery here in town, that again, base game model, and it just really makes me wish that they were made unique, because I think that would have really have kicked it up a whole new level, a huge notch. But you can see that there's just so much land. There's lots of field, and a good mix of fields too. You get some small, some large, and because you get those other crop types that you don't normally get, you have access to right off the start some of the various other crop types that just some maps just don't offer. So yeah, just overall very lovely map, very nice, and that is why this one is number 7 on the list. Number 6, The Western Wilds by Alien Jim. And this is the Western Wilds, and this one is, oh, chef's kiss, just mwah, love this map. Alien Jim is, I think, one of the best map makers when it comes to deceptively simple, is probably the best way I can put it. So there's No Man's Land, there's Western Wilds. Both of these maps are considered quote unquote survival maps, you know, having the bare minimum necessary and then just building up slowly but surely. Some will call them forestry maps, some will call them, oh goodness, why can't I? Anyways, it's one of those maps that you have the bare minimum and you build yourself up from there. And there's so many features that are on this map that are just amazing. You've got gold hunting. That's right, right over there. That little gold nugget right there. So you've got 20 of those perched around all over the map. You can go find them, collect them. It's so much fun, just like any other collectibles, but this is one of the first I can recall off the top of my head where it was actually like a customized, not the cheese wedges, not the toys from Elm Creek. It wasn't the base game collectibles. So very, very cool in that aspect. And it kind of makes sense for this kind of environment, this kind of area. You're out like in the wilderness kind of thing, and why not have gold nuggets? But that's not all this map has. It has customized production points. You have a gold smelting plant. You have lime production. You have and all this stuff when it was first coming out, when this map first dropped, was brand new. Like we didn't have a lot of the mods that we have now that will do a lot of this stuff. Um, so it was just a breath of fresh air that was being brought into this game. You've got key features like a selling point here, where the actual selling point is on top of this platform right here. So you actually have to use, you know, like the forklifts, or you have to use the auger to get into these bins here, because that's the sell point is inside these bins here. You've got custom log selling points, custom sawmills. Like you've got a little bit of everything going on here. And some of the productions, that's the other thing too, is the productions that are on this map. There's not a lot. There's only a few. But some of them are dirt cheap. Very, very, very cheap. So you've got your biogas plant right here, right? $25,000. Next to nothing. But we buy that. Check it out. You can actually have custom crop types put in here, like sugar beets and potatoes. Not just sugar beet cuts, but whole sugar beets. And you can produce methane and digestate to get a product out. Like you can take out the methane as a separate product and use it over at your gold smelting. And the amount that this processes is ridiculous. Silage, 2,400 cycles per month at 8,484 liters per cycle. It is a fast, fast biogas plant. And you've got just so much that's going on with so little. Because look at this. Wide open countryside. So in the northern part of the map here, you've got pretty much what you see, just open fields, very, very little in the way of anything else. You do get a little bit of stuff going on once you start getting closer to the shops and stuff like that, which is coming up here. If we follow the road network over here, you can see you got some trees, but not a ton. You've got like this kind of shop area here, at which a bunch of sell points right tucked away right in here. So it's very minimalistic. You've got your main starting farm just over here. Again, super small, super minimal, not a whole lot. But one thing that Alien Jim did that I think revolutionized this map and pretty much all of Farming Simulator 22 at the time was to, and I think Alien Jim deserves the credit for this. And if there's anybody out there in the comments, please correct me if I'm wrong on this. But I think that under landscaping and under painting, he pioneered the plowed state painting swatch. So you can actually go here and, oh, of course, I don't have, shoot. I'm trying to, and of course. Anyways, the plowed state allows you to actually create a field without having to use the actual farming equipment to create it. So you're able to just like make a field and you're done. Now you lose the ability to get stones out of it, but that's a small price to pay if you want to make a field really fast. But you can see there's tons of trees on the southern portion of the map. I mean, you've got tons of stuff that can be done between forestry. You can do traditional farming, but there are no fields right off the bat, right at the very beginning. So you're having to pretty much develop everything and then build it up from there. So it's just one of those maps that is very minimal, but with the use of its minimalistic tendencies, it can do so much. And now, one other thing I wanted to show is not only can this map be so minimalistic as it stands, but if we come here to the animal dealer and then come out to here, look at this. There are these signposts periodically on the map. Cutting the signpost with a chainsaw will permanently remove all power lines from this map. So if you cut that post down, all these power lines are gone. You got a couple over here as well. You can see them straight ahead. One of them's for the trees, one of them's for the rocks. So if you wanted, you can just have a completely flat map by cutting both of these down. Boom, you've got nothing but just grass. That's it. And if that's the way you want to play it, then that's great. If you want to make it almost impossible for you to make any money, take out all the trees, take out all the rocks, because then you've got to figure out a way to be able to generate money with no starting products on the map. So it's a challenge. It's it's something to set your sights on. But all in all, great map. The only negatives I can really think of off the top of my head for this map is it's incredibly flat. There's nothing to break up the sight lines besides trees, and it's too flat in my opinion. Some undulations, some areas that were kind of built up. The rock outcrops are nice and stuff like that, but they're few and far between, especially here in the north. And then getting into the south, all you have are trees. And you have out in the west that kind of rocky water area where we first started off. But other than that, this is a fantastic map. If you like survival maps, this is the one to come on to. And that is why this one is number 6. Number 5. Calmsden Farm by Oxygen David. And this is Calmsden Farm, and this map, this is an amazing map. It is based off a real life place, and it is just stunning. And what's really cool is it's got the real life PDA right over top of it. All the fields and stuff kind of match up to real life, and your starting farm is broken up into 2 separate areas. So kind of this first area here is kind of your cow area here, but it's very, for lack of a better way of and this might show my ignorance, but for lack of a better phrase, it's very English, this map. And what I mean by that is it's very narrow. The yard is very tight on both yards, and you've got to be able to maneuver to use some of these storage areas. It's very, very tight in here. So if you're driving on this map, be careful. You've got storage, a lot of stuff tucked away underneath the sheds here. Like, if this is indicative to real life, how farms are set up in England, or at least some farms are set up in England, y'all drive like champs. Holy smokes. Like, I played this map when it first released a lot, and trying to drive in some of these yards, it can be kind of a nightmare. It really can. Like, here's your other portion of your starting farm right over here, and I mean, it's not that much better. You got a little gate that comes into here. You've got this little area here to be able to store some of your equipment. And this is probably, I can't say like the most frustrating, but Look at this. You got all this equipment tucked away in here, and there's not really a whole lot of room to do anything with. So you got to be real careful and real precise about what you're doing. But this map, oh, is just stunning. It's got a very good subtle undulation in some areas. Others, it's not. It's very, it can be very aggressive in how it's actually sloped on this map. But it's all single lane roads, like, and each one of the roads are lined with these trees. So you're almost forced to drive in first person mode on especially the main road network. But you've got pretty much every starting animal right at the very beginning, all the pens for your starting animals, I should say. You've got your cow barn over here at your main farm here, but then across the way here and into the little, I don't want to call this a town, but it's just like a little itty bitty community. You've got your sheep pasture right here. You can see your feed goes in here. One really cool feature is if you come over here, click here, you can remove all the junk for minus $249. So you pay $250 and you get all the junk removed all across the map. You've got your chicken coop right in here. You've got your horse pasture right here with a kind of equestrian center right next to it, and then a pig farm right here. But one of the coolest features I think on this map is right over here. Just in front of us is the tree line, but not really. Check it out. You kind of got these little hidden pastures, like grass fields, tucked away back here. But the fields on this map are huge. Some of them are massively large. You've got these kind of dirt roads that lead all over the place, going out towards this little garden center out back here. You have another one of these little, again, kind of tucked away in here, but this one's more for forestry work. You can see that it's actually using some of the actual trees that can be cut down easily. But then you got another one back here, but this one doesn't have any way to really access it because you have these bushes and stuff that you can't get rid of over here. But very stunning map, awesome to work with. You've got the challenge of the tight, narrow roads. So yeah, I mean, pros, stunning map, very beautiful, real life, and you pretty much have all starting animals, and you can start off doing pretty much everything, and you own a good chunk of the map. Check it out. This is everything you own. You've got these large placeable areas here in the north on field 45 or farmland 45 and 34, and they're huge. You can put pretty much anything you want in those areas. This is your one of your starting fields, and it has wheat in it already. It's huge. Look how big this field is. And then right next door is your other starting field, and I think this one has barley in it. So again, very, very large. And they're not just square off fields or anything like that. So you're not going to be able to just, set an AI worker off and just let them chug along kind of thing. You're going to have to do headlands, and you're going to have to, put in some work. It's going to be a lot of work on this farm, but in my opinion, it's worth it. You've got this cool little creek down on this end here in this kind of valley, as you can see. Very, very nice. Very particular ways to get in and out of some of these fields. You got this little kind of drive-through creek right here to get in to this side of the grass meadow. You've also got this kind of driveway right here, several fences, and you've got several. Let's see if... Oh, yeah, you hear it. The church and the... It's not a xylophone. What is that? Oh, I can't think of the name. That's going to drive me nuts. Anyways, very, very cool. You got key features like that. The sound effects there. This road, during certain times of the year, floods. That's a cool feature. You've got, triggers for other times of the year for, winter and just all sorts of different stuff. It's just a lot of really cool stuff. The kind of cons about this map, it's massive for download. It's over 500 megabytes to download. So if you're looking to save on, disk space, this might not be the map for you. Um, it also starts out with a fair bit of slot counts. Oh no, sorry, I was thinking of a different map. 1,000 slot counts. So very high on the file size, but not so much on the slots. So very nice on that one. We'll give that one part of the pros. But yeah, overall, very, very lovely map. Love this map, and the fact that it's based off a real life farm is just kind of bonus, icing on the cake kind of thing. Yeah, and that is why this one is listed at number 5. Number 4, WestBridge Hills 22 by Zero Oito. And this is WestBridge Hills 22, and this is the iconic little red house that has dawned this map since 2013. That's right, Farming Simulator 2013. This is where this map originated from, and this is the latest, one of the latest editions of this map. And oh, is this just bliss. This one is a great map. Terrain amazing. Lots of breakage in the sight lines, so you can see pretty much every direction you look. You're seeing different elevations and different focal points all along the ways. It's not flat. It's very kind of sweeping throughout the entire map. But this map has been modernized with all the bells and whistles of FS22 and has so much detail packed into it. I cannot wait to show you. So let's just get right to it. So some of the pros to this map is, one, the details are just insane. Just so cool. So coming over in this direction, you can see right here we have just a cow barn. Nothing too special. Not too special until we start to get away from it and into the kind of town area. Now you can start to see some of those details that are popping out from here. You can see the biogas plant has tons of these crates and all this stuff kind of built up. Bunch of bunker silos over here. Got all this, a little windmill that's creaking right there. This little farm that has its own silo, tractors. Like, it looks like there's activity going on. Again, more tractors here at this little house. Harvester right here. You got your debris crusher built in right here with, a front loader, not front loader, wheel loader right there. Like, just the details. The details is what really kind of sets this map apart. You've got the biomass heating plant, and this is a stock biomass heating plant, but look at all the stuff that is tacked on top of it to make it look like it's something new. It's just fantastic. You got the sawmill over here, and how one of the key features that has been on this map for I have no idea how long. I've only ever played this game since 2019, but this was here last year, and it's back. The campsite. Look at this. Like, just, you got some people walking around, enjoying just being out in the middle of the woods. You've got the up here on the hill is where I meant to go. The drive-in is right here. Look at this. Just a cool little drive-in. Just awesome. Awesome. This map. You got the dairy. This huge dairy right over here. Again, you've got kind of the base model that we're all used to seeing, but they got it mirrored here to where it's basically the same model back to back kind of thing, and just all these extra buildings just make it not look like the base model. It's incredible. It's awesome. You've got just so many cool features on this map. Some other pros to this is you got the details. You've got the traffic splines like this, just going into the gas station here. Like, look at that. You got the van pulling in. like they're looking for a place to fill up or just pass right on through. Very cool. But you also got the tractors. You got the big Case Steiger that's parked in here. Like it just looks like a community that's ready for anything. Um, so terrain, the traffic splines. You've got the details, the additional details. You got the ballpark here in the north. You've got this kind of buying area here in the north as well, for all your goods and needs. You got the grain mill here. This is I anytime a map maker does this, they put in real animals at the animal dealer. That's a win right off the bat. You just won it because it just that level of immersion that just really helps out a lot. You've got this buy point for your TMR pig food and mineral feed. You've got your sell point tucked away in here. You know, just again, just details. It's little things like this that really help make a map come to life. Now, some cons to this map. The fields on this map, especially this one here in the upper northeast corner, are massive and they're all pretty much squared off. So it's going to be very easily worker friendly kind of map. So it's really kind of discourage some people to actually put in the effort to play on the maps. But it's very stereotypical American farm life. You know, you've got the big wide open fields and very kind of squared off kind of angles kind of thing. So it's one of those, yeah, it rings true kind of things. So it's you know, no lies detected. Um, yeah, all in all, just a fantastic map. Very little negative I can say about it. Zero Ito did an amazing job on this version of it, and that is why this one is at number 4. Number 3, The Green Valley by Zero Ito. And making yet another appearance on this list, Zero Ito for The Green Valley. And this one, again, I've used it several times on this list. Deceptively simple, but this one kind of falls into it. It's a little bit more than just simple, but it's, you know what? I'll just go ahead and show you. So we're here at the starting farm. You know, very kind of unique kind of starting farm here. You got this kind of split level starting farm. You don't get tons in the way of storage. You got a little bit of storage here with a whole bunch of equipment just jam packed in there. And then you've got this. This is probably one of the most unique farmhouses I've seen. This is it. But it's also some storage too. So you've got this kind of loft up here where you sleep, you change, you eat, and then you got storage. It's actually kind of interesting. Over here you got your starting silo and you've got a field here. And let's check this out. You can see the fields are very uniquely shaped. Lots of obstacles within them. You got a bunch of trees. You even got a beehive tucked away in there. So yeah, lots kind of going on in these fields. If we head off to the main road over here and follow this around, you can see we got a horse barn and a pig barn with some more of our starting equipment tucked away back here. And yeah, and then you've got this main kind of road that runs east and west, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you've got some fields over here in the southern portion of the map, but it's not a lot. It's, you know, mostly medium to small fields, nothing too big. You got a very big quarry down in the southwest, sorry. And yeah, you got the giant river system with these really, I think, really cool rickety bridges. Check this out. So if I zoom in here, you can see just how, you know, cobbled together these look. But what's cool about them is when you drive over top of these, what happens is that you actually like rip up some of these boards going long ways, going in this direction here. They kind of flop around and come up from behind you. Is kind of cool and kind of intimidating at the same time. You've got this one massive, absolutely massive field. We'll take a look at the map just so you kind of get some perspective. Look at that. This one field is bigger than all the other fields combined. That's how massive this field is. And then you can kind of get a scope of the field that you have right at the start. You know, you only own a little bit of the area. You cannot buy all of the map, which is unfortunate. That definitely goes in the con. But pros. Let's start with pros. Always start on a positive, right? So, the starting pro is that the undulation and the sight lines are not, flat. It's very, kind of well balanced in the way that it kind of flows and undulates throughout the entirety of the map. In the north, you've got pretty much grassland and trees. That's pretty much all you have north of the road. And to the south, you've actually got the fields and the town and all that stuff. I mean, you can see just how much this expands out. So you kind of have the best of both worlds, where you have the ability to farm and the ability to kind of be rustic. Details on this map are incredible. You know what that reminds me? We're going to go all the way back over towards the starting farm because I want you to see the details on this map. It is incredible. And there's one area in particular that when I first saw it, I thought, wow, you know what? Here, we're already passing by it. This is the animal dealer. And again, anytime a map maker does this, look at this. Live animals at the animal dealer, 100% automatic win. Automatic. You've got this kind of buyable area here where you can purchase TMR and pig food. Excuse me. And yeah, it's just a stunning map. Very, very simple in the way that it's got grass and trees up in the north, but starting farm here, lots of trees for you to do forestry with. And this is the town, and look at all the detail that's in here. You have this little buyable lot right here with some gardens in it. You've got some of your production points here, and again, you've got these kind of tankers that are built in. So you got your main kind of standard production point for your dairy and for your other production points that are on this map. But you've got so much detail that's kind of plugged into the rest of it. And look at this. You've got your gas station here with tons of vehicles in the parking lot ready to fill up. You've got the rest of the town over here, but this is the one detail I thought was so cool. Look at this. You have a house actually being built, being put together as we speak. How cool is that? Like a huge construction area. Like, that's so cool. I don't know why I think that's so cool. Little mini field right behind it, but it's just silly little details that really kind of allow you to kind of drive, not necessarily drive a story, but to just make you feel like there's something going on in the town, in the area. It's just fantastic. So those are all the pros. Now the cons, and one con that is really a big deal to me personally as a YouTuber and as somebody who would love nothing more but to play this map. I can't. Inside the shop here, the main shop, there's a radio playing that has music going, and unfortunately I cannot tell whether or not they're copywritten music or not, and I'm not going to take the risk without knowing whether it's copywritten or not of getting onto this map and risking getting a strike or anything like that. And it's such a disappointment because I've noticed on a lot of Zero Edo's maps this is a key feature on them, and because I don't know whether or not it's copywritten or not, I just can't do it. But tons of details. I'll try and pan down just a little bit. You can see inside the shop there. Looking behind the shop, you got all this stuff, all these like vehicles being worked on. It looks like back here you've got a working skid steer loader, not skid steer loader, forklift right here, a loading dock back here so you can load up all your goods onto your trailers. Like, it's just fantastic, fantastic. Again, you got another gas station right here with a bunch of cars in line waiting to go. You've got this huge kind of mill area right here. And again, tons of traffic, tons of like vehicles parked and just doing, not necessarily doing anything, but it's just the fact that they're there and providing like some level of immersion and some level of scope is just fantastic. It's huge in my opinion. Like look at these giant propellers on the top of this building. Just again a small detail, small little thing, but it just adds to that level. And you would have never have seen this had you not been in the high upper level, like this high view of the map. It's just things like that that are just, it goes unnoticed for the most part, but when you do notice them, you're like, I'm picking up what you're putting down. But yeah, so it's just, that's a pretty big negative. Going back to the cons, that's a pretty huge one for me, because I would love nothing more to play on some of these maps. Some of these Zero Edo maps, I'd love to do a series on. I can't risk it. Cannot risk it. Other than that, the only other kind of negative is I wish there was a bit more standard forestry to do. You've got, I think some of these are harvestable trees, like this one's a harvestable tree. I think these are harvestable using the harvester machines. But you really don't get much in the way of harvestable down here in this kind of middle of the road section here. You do get some out here where the kind of forestry portion by the sawmill is, but really other than that, it's just kind of sparse. Like right, was it here? Yeah, it's this sawmill area because you get this big forestry area right next to it. So it's just about, that's about the only real bad negative things I can say about the cons, quote unquote. But honestly, with the exception of the music, this is a fantastic map. If you're just coming on here just to play and have fun, then give it a try because it's fantastic. It's a great map, in my opinion. Give it a check out, and that is why this one is number 3. Number 2, La Coronella by E.R. Shaba. And this is La Coronella, and oh my goodness, this map is amazing. Where to begin? There's so much about this map. I'll put it to you this way. When I did a map tour of this map, it took me almost an hour and a half of just edited screen time. Just edited screen time. Like, I could not edit it down shorter than that. I had to do it in 2 parts. This map is huge. There's so much going on in this map. New fruit types, production types. I mean, just literally little bit of everything going on in this particular site. You've got custom silos all throughout the map here. You got like olive warehouse with animated fills. So you load in your product into here and you start to see it mound up as you get more and more in there. You've got just, oh my goodness, just a little bit of everything. You got this amazing yard, tons of storage at this yard. Let's zoom out and take a look. You've got these enclosed kind of storage where some of your starting equipment is. So your harvester and stuff's tucked away in here. You've got several of these silos. You got your normal grain silo right here. Another one of your enclosed storage areas right here. You've got some more silos tucked away on this side of the road over here. You've got custom production points, like you've got one right, where is it? Oh, there it is, right here. This guy right here, this is the Fertimaster. So you can make fertilizer using a couple of custom inputs. I think it's slurry and something else. I think it's right over here somewhere. Oh, there it is. I think it's either manure, slurry, and oh, there it is. Yeah, manure and digestate makes solid fertilizer. So it's just these custom productions that were only on this map. And you've got these kind of productions tucked away all over the map. Let's take a look at it real quick. So this is what the map looks like. You've got these olive groves, these trees that are actual, like using the umbrella shakers here. This is one of the first maps where I saw this fully integrated into the map itself. You've got pistachios, and you've got almonds, and you've got olives, I think, is on here as well. I could be wrong about that one. But let's take a look over here at one of the custom productions right here. So what you have to do is you have to buy the land in order to activate some of these. So if you come here and purchase this, well, now you have the production center and butter center. So you can see you put in all these products here and you get out certain products as well. So if we look at our productions, now you can see strawberry jelly, a whole new thing. Pallets, a whole new thing. And all of your productions, with the exception of your liquids, goes on to pallets. So pallets are integral, like so fundamental to every other production point, unless it's a liquid like your oils. If it's not an oil, then you're having to put it on a pallet. So it's a fantastic concept to me, personally. You got things like tomato jelly, tomato drink, strawberry milkshake, chocolate milkshake, watermelon and melon smoothie. You got melons, you got watermelons that are on this map. It's just fantastic. All of this is custom built. I don't think there's anything that to my eye is standard, quote unquote, like base game kind of stuff. You got production points at the biogas plants. You got 2 biogas plants on this map. So where is this one? This is one of them right here, and you can actually put in your base game stuff, but you get out a specific product. You get this biogas canisters that populate over here, and then your other biogas plant does your typical digestate and methane. So it's just little details like that. Again, details are always the thing that will stand out amongst all maps. Oh, and here's a biogas plant for the second one. So yeah, you can put in all your materials here, and all of your productions have these little signage to let you know what will go in to certain areas. So you can see here, silage, manure, cut sugar beets. In here, slurry. And then over here, you take out methane and take out your digestate. So, I mean, how cool is that? It's, for lack of a better word, because I can't think of one off the top of my head, it's dummy proof. You've got timers on all your gates and stuff, so they only open at a certain time of day, and they close at a certain time at night. You can buy things like seeds. You got fertilizer buy point over here. You got your liquids right over here with your herbicide and your liquid fertilizer. You've got some buy points here for chaff, and you got manure as well. Like, you've got so much that you can do. So you can really kind of specialize and do one production and just kind of that be it. Or you can really kind of broaden your horizons and do all sorts of different stuff. Like, it's really up to you, and it's fantastic the amount of stuff that you can do on this map. You've got these custom gardens here, where this one I believe makes, where does this one make? Melons. This is the melons right here. And again, you need pallets, and you need a special type of seed for your gardens here, and you need manure, and you need water. So it's not just the basic kind of stuff that you get from any other map. You got another production point here, and I think this one is your olive oils right here. Gets produced in this one, and it's a huge facility. It's not like it's just this little, rinky-dink, just bloop right there. It's like tons and tons and tons of time was put into the making of each one of these production facilities. I think the only thing that can be kind of quote base game kind of stuff are the animal pens and pastures. So let's see, over here is the cow barn, and what I should say is it's more the building kind of thing, not so much the pasture, because you got this little underpass here for your cows that can go in and out right here. So how, I mean, just so cool, so cool. You've got your pig pastures up here. You got dairy sheep on this map as base game, um, and those are over here. The dairy sheep. Oh, and that's something else to point out too. That's really cool about this map. Is it further down? Yeah, it's further down. Your animals do not function like normal animals do. Here, we'll do this. Where am I? Okay, I know where I'm at. So your animals don't function like base game animals. We'll take a look here. Your chicken pasture. Each one of your animals have these signs right here. The Corral de Pollos, the chicken corral. Well, you can put in your wheat, oats, and sorghum. I don't think oats is a typical input for. I think it's wheat and barley is normally the two main grains, and sorghum. But then you've got this protein is here. Well, what is that? That's part of the custom production uh, uh, that you can do on this map. You purchase the animal feed maker, and it will produce this protein that is necessary for almost all of your animals. So same thing with your sheep. If you come here, oh, I can't go right to it because I don't have it purchased. Is it? Nope, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. Now I'm heading in the right direction. But the sheep, I believe, also requires that custom protein. So it's just one of those, like, every little thing is different. Every little thing is unique. And if you're looking for a kind of off the beaten path, kind of, having to do, like, almost having to relearn the game, because that's essentially what you have to do for this map, is you kind of have to relearn what it is that you already know. So you can see this one produces dairy bottles for your sheep's milk, and you can take the sheep's milk over to the dairy processing and make sheep's cheese, kind of things like that. So it's just so cool, so fantastic, such an amazing map. About the only negative I can say about this, the only con, I've been rattling on about how great this map is, all the positives to this map. The only con that I can come up with this map is it has a huge learning curve. And what I mean by that is that pretty much because everything is non-standard, everything is just its own unique animal, that you're having to basically learn the entire game from scratch. Now, it's not so customized to where you can't, like, farm normally or anything like that. You can produce your crops and do all that stuff normally. It's just what can you do with your crops downstream. That's kind of the new thing in town. So it's just one of those that, and you can also look at just how the roads just twist and turn and wind, and, like, it's just so unique and so incredible the way that this map has been set up. Tons of forestry to do. You've got tons of farming, decent sized fields. As you can see, it's not like there's a lack of any one thing to do, and you've got some really cool kind of key features. Like if we zoom in right here, look at this rock slide. Just little silly things like this that just kind of help make a map, and they make a road that goes around it right here. Now you do have this area up in the north. I will show this off just really quick. It's kind of a competitive gaming area, to where it's separate from the rest of the map, but you can come here and just do competitions with friends, kind of thing. It's just a little area up in the northern portion of the map. So yeah, it's just, if you choose to do it, you can. You don't have to, but it's there if you want it. But it's just, long story short, fantastic map. And the steep learning curve, like I mentioned before, the kind of negative, I think far outshadows. I'm sorry, is far outshadowed by the positives, and the positives being that all the new and exciting things that you can do for this map. Give it a look, because this is why this is number 2. And this, honestly, is very close to being number 1. Very close to being number 1. but it having such a steep learning curve is what prevented it from being number one. Number one, Newlands by Gwendol. And this is the one that beat them all out. This is Newlands, and oh, this is my favorite map for FS22 so far. And the reason why is yet again deceptively simple. But there's so much that is in addition to this map that makes it go beyond that deceptively simple. So starting right here, you have this kind of farmer's market where you have all the various sell points where you can just sell all your various goods. But what's nice about it is it's at a marked up rate, because this little area here closes off after 9 a.m. and is only open from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. So it's like you're delivering all the goods that they need here at the farmer's market before they open. And then they open throughout the day and closed at night, and they open back up early just to let you sell the goods. But oh man, where do I begin? This map, the terrain, amazing. Color palette, amazing. Just everything. And again, it's mainly a forestry map. There is one field kind of built into it, and the rest of the fields are grassland fields. So there's tons of grass to do, but it's not grasslands in the way that you may think, just fields out there for you to mow and stuff like that. No, well, kinda yes, kinda no. The fields that you have to mow are these kind of fields right next to the highway here. Check this out. Why would they have you only mow next to the highway? It's because on this map you're essentially a county worker, and your job is to basically take care of the town here. You go around and you do what you have to. You can be a garbage man, you can be a yard worker, a recycler. Like, they actually have areas and junk scattered around the entirety of the map. You know what? There's some right over here. I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. But you can pick up the junk and take it to the recycling center, and after you take it to the recycling center, you can then you can actually make some money off of this stuff. So you see all this stuff right over here. Anything with these little recycle symbols on there is stuff that can be recycled and taken in to be sold for profit. And it's just a cool little concept. I mean, being able to do that. Yeah, you can work here around the yard. You can load onto the train. You can take stuff off the train. Like, just so much stuff. But if we look at the map, actually, I'm sorry, not the map, but if we look at like how it is from up high, it's basically a large forestry map with some grass care worked in between, kind of thing. You've got a little starting farm, but it's not that much. It's not a sleep trigger, and it's a lot of trees and a lot of grass work. That's pretty much what this map is. And that's why I say it's deceptively simple, is because you think, oh, well, it's just grass, it's just this, it's just that. Well, yeah, it's this just a start, but you take a look here at the productions. Evelyn Carson service agreement? What are all these? What these are additional productions that basically simulate you being a like a county worker kind of thing. And each resident will produce slurry, trash, and food waste, and you have to come by and pick them up. And each resident's home has a different amount of residents. So this one has 5 residents in it. This one has another 5. This one has 6 residents. This one has 3. And so on and so forth, until you get down all the way towards the, right here, supermarket, 100. So this one obviously is going to produce the most, the fastest. But you can then use the slurry, the food waste, and the trash for other things, like your taro, to create taro, which is a product that you need for your gardens over in the eastern portion of the map. If we take a look here, you got this beautiful kind of park area here with some rafts in here. There's a farmer's market right there. And just the town is just set up so beautifully. It's so picturesque. You got this giant mansion right here, right off the highway, which is, odd, but it is what it is. All these fields are right here lining the highway. These are all the grass fields that you can have contracts for. The taro can be produced basically for this section over here, where you can use it for your greenhouses, which the greenhouses have their own custom outputs. You've got the plants area here; those are custom for trees and whatnot. And then you've got these over here that are custom. So I mean, there's so much going on. There's so much that you can do while not being a traditional kind of farmer. It's just kind of a step back from that farmer role and really kind of reimagining, okay, well, what is it that can be done that kind of make this map unique and distinct from other maps. And you've got this giant kind of forestry area here in the middle of the map, kind of southern portion of it. You got a couple of carpentry production points, a biomass heating plant where you can produce, I believe it's heat. Yeah, so there's custom fill types and custom production types and just all sorts of different stuff. Um, yeah, long story short, amazing map. You got the cool kind of back roads that are trails that lead places. You got a little biogas plant tucked away back here. You got the recycling center, which is just over here. And the recycling center, you can take your recyclables and throw it into that little red container right there. You've got a taro maker right here, a little production point that'll produce your taro for your greenhouses. It's just so much that you can do or not do if you choose. Um, yeah, it's just a fantastic map. It's such a unique kind of concept to what Farming Simulator is, and really is one of those kind of things that just thinks outside the box and created something so unique and so um, imaginative that it really kind of holds a special place in my heart. Now, I did perform a uh, Let's Play series on this particular map, but it was before this most recent update, so I didn't get all this. Like, again, live animals here at the animal dealer. That's a win, total win. And this wasn't here when I first did that Let's Play. The animals weren't here. This area was really empty. Like, there was so much empty about this, and it kind of made it feel kind of hemmed in, kind of kind of lifeless. But now it feels like there's a whole new life kind of breathed into this map, and I'm totally on board with it. It went from a good map to a great map with one simple update, in my opinion. And that is why this is number one, is because it's so unique. There's not a single other map that is anything like this. And just the concept of you being something other than just a stereotypical farmer, and it actually be a role that you kind of build yourself into. You actually want to build yourself into the farmer role, using the role of sanitation worker or county worker, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so it's just such a cool concept, so unique. And just you can do recycling. You can if you don't want to do recycling, you can do grass work. If you don't want to do grass work, you can do forest work. And you've got this area over here. This is another fill type. All this stuff right here is a different fill type that you can use for other productions. So it's just little things like that, just those little cool details. And had you not known that this was here, I've had several people reach out to me. It's like, oh, I can't find where this particular product is. I don't know how to make it, this, that, and the other. It's like, well, that's the kind of cool thing about this map is, yeah, you need to have that little learning curve in there, but at the end of the day, it's just one more thing that you get to find out about the map kind of thing. So Amazing, amazing, amazing map. Really enjoyed this when I did the Let's Play, and that was before the update. I, if I could do the Let's Play now with it in this state, oh, it would be so much fun. So much fun. But yeah, long story short, check out this map, and I hope you enjoyed the top 10 favorite list that I created here. It was a lot harder than I originally thought it was going to be, just because it was really hard to pick which maps kind of edged each other out. But if you enjoyed this, if you'd like more content similar to this, maybe top 10 worst maps out there or whatever, I mean, feel free to drop a comment down in this video. Let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. This shows that you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.